Hello, my name is Shudley and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Mexico. In previous episode, we managed to get the Panama Canal built, and we also had the exhibition, which turned out fairly well, I dare say. But right now, we are losing a bit of cash, although it's not actually that massive amount of cash. We're still losing a little bit, because we're building a lot of things. I've moved in one railway in Mexico City to be at the top of the list, as well as one of the automobiles industries over here in Guatemala. That's just a oh, actually, we're making money now. Okay. Not that I'm complaining. So one of the things that we might not... Well, depends how quickly we pass time, but... the goal in the next one... Oh, we'll discover in North Dakota, eh? How much is there? 5. Okay, so it's not quite as much as I was hoping for. One of the things that I might want to do over here, though, is maybe get a couple coal mines. I'm just going to put one right now and let it auto-expand. There's quite a bit of turmoil in there, so the construction is going to be fairly slow. Of course, over time, the turmoil will probably drop. And we are getting the... Oh, right, yeah, the industrialists are still giving the production tech cost minus 10%, so we should be able to get the steam turbine done fairly shortly. That's 2 weeks away. So once we get that, we're going to get a lot more electricity. Of course, that's going to require a bit more coal then, but that's probably alright. I mean, it should be doubling the electricity. But we will need a bit more engines as well, which is a bit of a problem. But I'm sure that we can manage that. But yeah, in the next war against America, we'll probably take at least Kansas and Oklahoma. We might take either Minnesota or Arkansas. Let's get the steam turbines up and running. The coal-fired power plants, that's going to be quite a bit of extra coal needed, but the amount of electricity provided is going to be massive. And then what we can do is maybe, I did increase a few things, so for example the chemical plant is now producing even more explosive with some electricity. And I think they may have, no actually I didn't do that yet, but I might do it now. Especially the one in Washington, although I suppose there's a decent bit of peasants in there. I was thinking about putting the assembly lines over here, so that reduces the coal demand a decent bit, increases the oil demand a bit, but that's fine. And then electricity consumption is going to go up, but a lot less labor is needed in here, so that should be making a lot more profit now. And I think, well, we are making money, we still got the low taxes, admittedly, and we got high wages on both military and government. So we could potentially increase the construction speed once again by one more. Let's oh, we don't have a construction sector in here. Okay, well, let's build at least one there, just to speed up some of the construction in Washington. So we are hopefully going to get the compulsory primary school done on this next roll happening right about now. There we go. So now we're going to increase the education investment, in theory at least. Now, did that reduce the... Oh yeah, the radical numbers did go down a little bit. They are still quite a bit more radicals than they are loyalists, but it's not like that massive difference. I mean, it's a few million, but at the same time, it's not doubled. Quite yet, at least. So I'm guessing the... Oh, did we get the construction sector already? I think we did. Yeah, we did. Well, that was quick. So they're now hiring in there, so we'll get a bit more construction speed overall. It's going to cost us a bit more, I reckon. Of course, the investment pool is still... Well, I suppose if the investment pool is growing, which it probably will be, then we'll be able to just, you know, make it even more money. Recognition of accomplishment. With the recent investment in Oaxaca, thank you, a comment corrected me. The raw goods industry has resulted in a positive balance for the logging camps there. Interest groups are quick to try and claim the credit for the investments. I think industrialists could get probably the benefit from that. Yeah, over here we've got quite a bit of mines already. It's right, I suppose we can't auto-expand that anymore. We could still have the rubber plantations in here. I suppose I might actually build them. And then we can maybe get some of the fishing wharves. And then there's room for a lot of farms in there. I suppose we could probably get some industries in here. Why is the things that we need the most? Engines are still in pretty high demand. Of course, that is something that we've got quite a few motor industries underway. It's going to take a while before they're built. Glass is something that I suppose, since they got lead mines in there already, glassworks might not be a bad idea at all. For that to auto-expand, I'll build a few dye plantations in here just in case. So we've got 131 weeks worth of construction right now, so it's going to take a little while before we get through all of it. There we go, the railway in our capital is almost done. Right now, there's quite a bit of use of the infrastructure. Of course, once we get the... Oh, right, now it's the electric arc process, but after that, it's going to be the electric railways, which will definitely speed up things. Especially, we're going to get a lot more engine production and also a lot more transportation from the railways and all that. We'll just cover in Rio Grande. How much do we have in there? 14, okay, that's not too bad. Now, to be fair, actually, there is a decent bit of demand for it. I'm just going to put it to auto-expand. I'm going to put those to auto-expand as well, I think. Of course, they won't be doing that right now because the production queue is so long, but over time, I'm sure that it will get better. I suppose over here, actually, the steel mill, it's going to require a little bit more coal, but we're going to reduce the labor need at Louisiana. So, I mean, right now, there's, well, the barracks is, oh yeah, shortages of automobiles, but no, everyone's seems to be fully hired, at least, more or less. So they are expanding some of the things already. I do wonder, is the tooling workshop? It is already assembly lines there, and steel tools. So we can't really improve that one. And it looks like the, oh yeah, we're getting a little bit more money from the investment pool. I know that we've got a bit of bureaucracy shortfall right now, but we're still making so much money that, like, I do have some administration centers, or government administrations underway over here somewhere. It's just, you know, getting the economy, or the increasing the GDP further and further, just so that we can get the investment pool transfer. Well, technically speaking, I suppose it's not the GDP that is directly doing that. It's the people that are investing, having money. So, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand, but it's not exactly the same thing. But there we go. Now we've got several motor industries underway and a lot of oil rigs as well. So the amount of oil that we produce is probably going to be skyrocketing quite a bit soon enough. Electricity price isn't actually too bad, so that's something that we could maybe do. Oh, revolution Brazil. Aristocratic revolt in there, okay. One of the things that I could, in theory, do is conquer New Africa. But there's a chance that there would be a lot of enemies. A lot of strong enemies. USA is, well, I don't think USA would necessarily join. But France, Two Sicilies, Austria-Hungary, and Great Britain all are, like, I don't know how likely they are, but since we got quite a bit of infamy, it would be relatively likely that at least one of them would be enticed to join in, I suppose. How's the... Ah, right, so we could actually have a bit higher innovation now. University over there, and we've already got 5 in our capital. Jalisco has 11. I suppose we could get one more over there, and that's going to get us a decent bit of extra bonus. And we got 66.6% literacy rate right now. Well, 66.68 to be more precise, but yeah, it is growing. And actually, one of the things that I've noticed is that we are number 20 in the standard of living average, so that's actually not too bad. If we do have a look at the ledger real quick. So in GDP we are, almost overtaking Austria-Hungary now. Then the French Republic isn't that far ahead of that, and then Russia is fairly close, so we might be getting into top 3 GDP today. But if we have a look at the standard of living, we're down here. Oh, Ecuador is actually high. I mean, Ecuador is part of our trade or market, so that does help a little bit on their side. Because we've got okay, I mean, it's not the best necessarily, but they can get a lot of benefits from being in our market, that's for sure. Like a relatively cheap coal by now, and then what's the things that we got? Oh, steamers are incredibly cheap. Grain is fairly cheap as well. Fertilizers is still fairly cheap. Sulfur, rubber, fabrics. Yeah, wood is even quite cheap. So that's good. Speaking of which, though, let's have a look at the... Oh, right, yeah, that is already on the good stuff. Do we need to increase our meat production? I mean, we could probably do a little bit increase in there. We don't have that many livestock ranches, to be fair, in the grand scheme of things. Do we need to increase our tobacco production? It would potentially be quite a bit of profit in there. Although I'm not entirely sure if it's actually going to be a lot of profit, but we'll give it a try. At least providing a little bit more resource into the market without having to increase the amount of workers working there. So the prices will go... Oh! Venezuela wants to ally us. Sure. Would that mean that you'd be more willing to join perhaps the customs union by now? You're not quite willing to do that yet, but we are definitely getting closer. Identification documents was researched, and then... Oh. Current party is struggling to raise enough funds for all their campaigning needs this election. I could, technically speaking, pay for all of them. That would give us a bit more bonus, especially the Catholic Church. Oh wait, no, Church, or the clergy is currently in the government, so they won't get a bonus, but there's a lot of others that will get some bonuses. Although I don't think it's actually going to get us over the threshold there, but Conservative Party seems to be the leading one, in terms of votes anyway. And then, I guess Agrarian and Labourist parties are the next two in line. Oh, mutual funds is spreading. Okay, that's actually really good, because that's going to allow us to get a lot more publicly traded buildings, which means there's going to be a lot more capitalists, which means that the average standard of living is going to go up. Plus, you know, there's a lot more capitalists than paying into the investment pool, which means that we can probably increase our construction speed a decent bit further. So how far are we with the... I know that we do have at least some government administration underway, but it might be just on the last page. So if that's the case, I'm just going to pull... No, it's not there. I swear, I did queue up at least one. Or two. Oh, there they are. Just going to put one of them to the top. Spain has declared rivalry. A little bit surprising, admittedly, but sure enough, I suppose. We do still have a lot in for me, admittedly. We've been conquering quite a bit of lands. So I suppose that makes sense. One of the things that I could do is Haiti. I've been planning on doing, or trying to do, turn Haiti into a... Hold on a minute. British Republic. Oh. Don't think I've seen that flag before. Like the Hungarian flag, almost. Alright then. So are they now... Oh yeah, they got intelligentsia and trade unions in power. But it is still a democracy and all that, so... I don't know. Interesting development nonetheless. Right, now we're not getting all that much money because we got some additional expenses. How long are those going to last? So one is going to expire in 10 weeks. That's going to be another 12,000 per week. And then the other one is going to take more than 2 years. Hey, the construction queue is down to 97 weeks now. Still quite a bit, admittedly, but at least we're slowly reducing it. Oh, Haiti have a revolution. Oh! Are they actually... I wonder if I was to support the revolution here. Well, let's have a look. Who would we actually support, though? In terms of ideologies, at least. You've got fairly similar stuff as I do. It's a capitalist revolt. Oh! And then Haiti itself is oligarchy. Okay. I think I might actually lean towards the revolution here. I don't think they'll be able to offer me too much. Although, if they give me an obligation, that'd be nice. We'll see how it goes. And both sides are quite confident of the battles to have. I don't think they'll be doing too much. Production and agitation. In collaboration with the Conservative Party, Eulalia Almonte has secured deals for cheap and quick distributed pamphlets in support of the party. I guess we'll add in a little bit momentum for them. So is there... Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, right. The landowners are no longer part of the Conservative Party. And that's actually not too bad then. I might actually just join in on this one. Support the capitalist revolt. And I'm just going to send in like one army in there. But oh, hold on a minute. Do we have any generals? We do, but we don't have one in Dixie. And the one in Mexico could be promoted further. Let's get the romantic defensive strategy in Dixie. I mean, Les Moralos looks quite nice, so it's going to be good for defending. And actually, that might be just what we need now that I think of it. Give him a promotion real quick. And then mobilize. And just send in over there. I don't know if anyone else is going to join in this war, but we're not going to activate too many troops yet. Electric arc process unlocked. There we go. So that's going to allow us to do a lot more steel production. Of course, it's going to cost us a lot more electricity as well. But the extra steel that we can produce is very much worth it. And I think what we might want to do is produce a little bit more power. I mean, the power plant over here is already expanding. Is this one... Let's subsidize that so I can hire a little bit more. And that one. So they can at least keep it in operation. Getting some more food industries. And one more week until we get a bit more bureaucracy. I mean, we're currently losing only 9,500 pounds per week for the tax waste. So, you know, it's bad, but it's not gonna bankrupt us. Especially since we're making this much money right now. Oh, we do have a bit of an investment pool, which is still growing. Oh. Okay, there's still a few things that we're not using the construction or investment pool for. Oh, there we go. So Conservative Party seems to be the winner. We could just go for the Conservative Party, I suppose. That's going to increase our legitimacy at least a little bit. Now, is there any laws that we need to change? Have we got the taxation law already changed? We're not going to go back to legal guardianship. We could try going for the public health insurance, although... Oh, the Catholic Church actually supports that now. Industrialists would oppose that quite vehemently, though, so we might not want to do that quite yet. There's some of the, like, National Guard maybe could be useful. Political movement radicalism would go down, revolution and secession progress speed would go down. We'd have a bit more conscripts to activate if need be, which might not be too bad. A secret police would also be quite effective at... ooh. That wouldn't actually anger too many people. I mean, okay, but both of these intelligentsia and labor unions, or trade unions, are going to be a bit upset. But at the same time, we don't have the bureaucracy for that right now, so I'm just going to... Oh, look at that, we're number 2 in the Great Powers list now. Trade agreement from Argentina. Sure, that's probably going to reduce our income a little bit, but it's not too bad. Can do attitude. Oh, can open it, right. Well, I suppose we can develop that. It's going to cost us a little bit more, but as I've said... all the gold... Actually, how much do we get gold income right now? So minting... I'm just going to do a bit of calculations here real quick. So bear with me. Right, so we should be getting about £165,000 per week from just gold income. Which is quite a decent chunk of money, to be fair. It is more than half of what our minting is. It's just gold income. Right, so it seems like the war is going to start and we'll be supporting in here. We've just got one expeditionary force in there. Oh, pretty declared rivalry. So I'm guessing, well, they got a decent bit of defense in there, I suppose. I'm sure that my troops will be more effective at fighting, but... Oh, yeah. Oh, they got the leader in there, even. Well, what do they have in here? Light infantry. Shrapnel artillery, hand-crank machine gun, field works, armed forces, patriotic fervor. Okay, so, you know, they got some bonus in there. It's not going to stop us, admittedly. We've got the overwhelming numbers in here. And we've got the... Well, as I said, we've got quite a bit better military in there. I do wonder how much we... Oh, wow, we're conquering most of it already. There we go. If we held them in the war, then that should maybe make them more likely to perhaps even become part of our market. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I can certainly hope. Spread a little bit of influence in the meanwhile, especially while we wait for the truce with USA to expire, which is still going to be like November 14? No, it's January 1914, okay. I thought it would be a bit later, but sure, I'll take it. Now, I do wonder, though, once we declare war, if we're going to get some more enemies this summer. Oh, and our standard living is now 15, so that is definitely going up. I mean, we're getting so much more industries, to be fair, so it's kind of expected. And I guess our troops can now return home. I mean, they are already... Oh, standing by Central America. I'm just going to send that home back to Dixie. And then where's the... Well, I suppose none of these... really matter right now. A lot of them are in the Great Plains, actually. Just sitting... Oh, yeah, most of them are just there. So what's this, then? Cuban Liberal Revolt versus France and Cuba. I'm gonna declare neutrality on that one. I don't think I necessarily need to be fighting the French quite yet. I have a feeling that the Capitalist Revolt over here, I could improve relations with them already. I suspect that that's gonna carry over once they take over the nation, maybe? I'm hoping at least that that will be the case. In the meanwhile, let's have a look at the market real quick. Oh, we're not getting any tea right now, are we? Did someone... Oh, it was probably... We were importing that from the British market, where we're not, and if they declare rivalry and probably embargo, that means that we won't be getting any. Alright then, well, let's go ahead and import that. Well, I don't know if there's a lot of places that I could actually import that from, quite frankly. I do wonder, though, is there any potential for tea... You know what? So Brazil might have a little bit. Africa has a decent bit. Because most of them don't have ports, so I might not be able to trade with them. Ottomans, okay. Buying tea from Ottomans might be a decent option. Then, of course, we could buy maybe something from the Jing market if, I don't know, they're part of the Russian market. Well, let's go ahead and import some of the tea, because the tea trade route was actually quite profitable. Or at least, we were importing like 400 or something. Brazilian market might be the most profitable right now, so I suppose we'll go there. Also take us a bit less as a convoys, which is quite nice. So what trade routes do we have? Oh, we're importing some steel. Okay, we can cancel that one now. We're exporting a lot of oil to France. And speaking of oil, more oil is covered in Rio Grande. Oh wow, 43 max. Okay, that's pretty decent. So let's have a look. We are still improving relations with you. Relations are neutral. Would you be willing to... No, they would not want to become part of our trade union yet. Partly because we're not adjacent and our infamy is or another thing. Oh well, it's Mosquito Kingdom. It is still part of the British market. And the British... how strong are the British actually? Because if we were to do a quick war for British Guatemala, maybe we could also go for Mosquito Kingdom. Oh, now one of the things that they probably do have a lot is fleets. Yeah, they got a lot larger fleet, and I guess it's probably a lot more capable fleet at that. So that could be a bit of an issue. There are a few things that we could try conquering from them. Oh, Malta. I didn't realize that I got interested in Italy or somewhere around there. I suppose I do. Right, so... Oh, British, yeah, if I would take that one, that would allow us to maybe invite Venezuela into the market. And maybe also, well, I don't know if Brazil would join, to be fair, but, like, that would be potentially quite handy. And since Venezuela would be part of the war, there are a lot of nations that would join, though, including British Raj and, well, the British Republic. How strong are their troops, actually? Because that might be a path to follow. Okay, they got trench infantry, siege artillery, cavalry scouts. They do not have any specialist companies, though. And they don't have the motorized reconnaissance. So our troops are better, but the difference isn't that massive, unfortunately. So one of the things that I could do is maybe start increasing our fleet size a bit further. Get another 5 naval bases over there, and maybe another 5 over here. So that's going to allow us to get the fleet in here just a little bit larger. I do wonder, though, so the fleet in... I believe this is from the Pacific coast. Oh, do we not have anyone in... Oh, no, we don't have a fleet from... Okay. I'm going to go with the brave one, I think. And then what we can do with that is just promote it. It doesn't mean that we use even more bureaucracy, admittedly, but it'll be fine, I reckon. Oh, Belgium is having a revolt. We used to be allied with Belgium, but I suppose they ended the alliance after the previous war against USA, didn't they? So they can just, you know, do as they will. And we're already 111 million. Are we? We're number 5 in GDP. So we're still above Russia. We have not gone above Austria-Hungary quite yet. And then Russia is not too far off, and even the French aren't that far off. So I think we're a little bit more engine production and all that. Speaking of which, how much electric railways is going to be? 16 months. That's going to allow us to get the extra engine production going, which will be definitely quite handy. And we're also getting now the railways in Mexico, which is probably a slight overkill for now, but at the same time, you know, having more industry or infrastructure in there allows us to build more and more industry in there, which, to be fair, we've got quite a bit already, but we could definitely get more. I might build another university in here just in case, to make sure that we get the qualifications filled as quickly as possible. It looks like the maize farms could probably be somewhat profitable in here as well, so we're going to build a few, not too many though, but just a few here and there, to make sure that the food price there is fairly low, so the standard of living is going to be able to stay relatively high at least. So how is the trade routes now? We're only importing 5 tea from Brazil right now. Oh, there we go. Now it's 12.5. So it's slowly growing. We're still importing 500 silk from Russia, actually. So staying in good relations with Russia might actually be in our interest. Let's improve relations there a little bit. We're currently cold. Right, because they declare us as a rivalry. Oh, I could end the rivalry, actually. There we go. So the relations will go up faster. That does mean that we'll have a lot less influence. But I suppose since Britain declare us a rival, I could declare rivalry over there and get a lot of the influence back. So at least the infamy is still dropping, which is going to be quite nice. So I think what we'll do is we'll have another war against USA. And after that, while we wait for the truce to end, we might do a war against Britain. Take at least Belize and then maybe British Guyana. Actually, is this... Oh, right, that's West Indies. I wouldn't mind necessarily taking West Indies, to be fair. But the fact is that we need to increase our navy before we can afford doing that sort of stuff. Now, to be fair, we've got... this one's part of... yeah, I believe that is actually part of the Central America. Veracruz, on the other hand, is not. We could probably build a few naval bases in here. And maybe some in... Rio Grande as well. So we'll have another 20 flotillas in here. Spread them out a little bit so the populations can recruit the flotillas slightly faster. So I do realize we are actually out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also got the links down below in the description, but other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.